welcome back to my channel. This event took place in the main gym in HTC. It was a blow-up planetarium, so it took some time to get it set up and adjust it. When we did get it set up, it looked like an igloo/dome shape. The entrance you see right there is what we had to squeeze through to get inside.
Drink? Yeah. Got it? Got it? Yeah. Okay. Perfect.
What you're looking at now is the inside of the dome with the projections, and the inside of the dome is dark.
Oh, it shows the menu when you do it. Yeah, it does. Oh, I see. I found my time button. And we're going to go up to about 2000 hours. Here we have a nice dark sky.
And if you want the little pen thing to start on the other screen, just
Oh, perfect. Sure. Is. And I'm gonna turn the pictures on for a second. There we go.
you can use your laser if you want.
Yay! All right. So, welcome to Coastal Carolina's portable Rome Dome. This is our sky as it would look at about 9 p.m. However, there are a lot more stars here than you probably noticed on Coastal's campus. Any ideas why that might be? Light pollution, yes. So light pollution is a major problem for us. However, we don't have too many lights compared to, say, Myrtle Beach proper or Wilmington. So it's not as bad, but definitely won't see quite as many stars if you go just up to maybe Wades Island, which is one of our research islands. I go kayaking out that way. Lots of stars out there. Now we are facing south, and if you look over to your right, you'll notice our first planet, Mercury. Now Mercury is the most difficult of the planets to see, but tonight and over the next several days, it is far enough from the sun in its orbit we can catch it just after sunset. But the most interesting sky is actually this week up in the morning. Who are my morning folks? Anyone morning folks?
I was taking photos of the planets this morning.
Yeah, I am definitely not a morning person. I've got some good news if you're not a morning person. We have some options to consider as we get closer to the summer. But I'm just going to go ahead and fast forward once again to about 5 a.m. to start. Now we have sunrise. If you look over to the east, we have quite the procession of planets. Sometimes I call it a parade of planets. We have Mars and Saturn, but those are going to be your fainter of the two. But over here in nearly a conjunction, not quite as familiar with this leg point, there we go. In nearly a conjunction, we have Jupiter and Venus. Now the labels are kind of squished together. Let me see if I might could turn those off. There we go, that's a little bit better. So you can see Jupiter and, wrong light again. Jupiter and Venus look very close to one another in tonight's sky. Now, are they really close together? Can anyone tell me why we might see them close together in the night sky? Anyone haven't taken astronomy in this orbit somewhere? So when you are looking out from Earth, because our solar system is kind of like a disk, if we say the planets are sitting on one plane, I kind of compare that to a cosmic platter. So if you could imagine the solar system sitting on this cosmic platter, the sun is the dip at the center, then you have all the planetary appetizers out. If you look at it head on, they would all look squished up together, even if they're not really. Now they're not really on a cosmic platter, but from Earth, that makes them look squished together. Now these look a lot like stars. We often hear Venus at this time of the day being called the morning star because it's the last thing you'll see as the sun rises. But it will not twinkle the way that stars do. Any ideas why that might be? So can I zoom into?
Huh?
Can I zoom into these planets?
Yeah.
Yeah. How do I do that?
This version?
Oh, I think I see it. I got it. I got it. I figured it out. I just gotta get
That's
it.
okay. One time I had the sky flying all over the place.
Let's try to zoom in to our Venus here. We're gonna see in just a second something really interesting. Bear with me. I have flown a planetarium, but not this particular one.
I have to tell you, we have the desktop version of this, and it's so much easier when you have a mouse. Instead of trying to use this little screen with your hand. Oh, wow, there you go. I think you can.
Yeah. All right.
There you go.
So we've got it close enough. Kind of trying to move around on me. Let me. Oh, somebody else.
Is it time still?
I got it going. So now I got it frozen. So if you look closely here, Venus is interior to Earth, which means it's closer to the sun than we are. So it actually goes through phases. We can see the night side here and the day side. With planets, they don't actually make lights. They reflect it like big mirrors. So we see them shine and do not see them twinkle. Now, if you were in outer space, like an astronaut, you would not see twinkling stars at all because it's actually Earth's atmosphere that does that, not the stars themselves. Now, let's try to come back home. I'm going to let you guys pick a couple of objects, and then I'll turn it back over to Miss Jeannie. What are some things you're interested in seeing in our sky? It may or may not be up tonight, but I can certainly find it if it's not.
Do you have any, like, the zodiac signs?
Ah, the zodiac. Excellent question. Yes, we do. In fact, in the morning sky right now, since we're already here, I'll go ahead and point out a few of them. The zodiac constellations are very special, but not for the reasons you might guess. We'll delve into that together. But if you look here, we've got one really prominent one in Scorpio. Right here. Yeah. So this is the brightest constellation in the summer sky. You can actually probably see a good chunk of it from the lawn here in coastal because it's very bright. Next to that is me, Sagittarius, right here. And we've got Pisces over here. I'm going to turn my pictures on for just a second just to see some of the others. We've got Capricorn right here, Libra. So what do you notice as I'm pointing these out? Zodiac signs, zodiac signs, zodiac signs.
Like in a line?
They are in a line. Now in astronomy, you'll also notice where our planets are. They're kind of in that same line. So the planets are in this line, and these constellations are in these lines. What do you think this might mark for us in our night sky or day sky? You can't see the stars during the day, but they are there. Any guesses? So let's go forward a little bit. I'm just going to progress time slightly here. I think I'm doing this correctly. I'm going to let time flow a little bit here to about 6:37. If you look, as we come up, the sun is also in this line, and the sun is currently sitting somewhere in and around Pisces right here. So zodiac constellations mark out something we call the ecliptic. The ecliptic is sort of an imaginary line if you pull it up on a grid, but basically it's the path the sun takes through the year. So the sun goes through every one of the zodiac constellations, and there are actually 13 of them. Ophiuchus right here is the 13th zodiac constellation. The sun goes through all of them as we go through the year. Now, because our solar system is shaped like a disc, guess who else goes through this line? Planets. Planets also go through this line. But that can be very helpful. You can find planets, some of the fainter ones, though be careful, especially over here. For example, in Scorpius, there's a beautiful red star called Antares, which translates literally to mean not Mars. So this is very easily confused for Mars because it is a red star. Now, if you had Mars and Antares near each other, which has certainly happened in the past, what would be a way you could tell them apart? The twinkling. Yep, the absence of twinkling. Yeah, so those are our zodiac constellations. We may have time for one more. We have time for one more question from y'all. Sure.
Any other question? So I'll tell you, you can see Venus and Jupiter fairly well in the morning. They don't look that close when you look up. I have a picture. If you're looking at the sky, it actually looks like this. But over the next few days, Jupiter will be up here. Jupiter's below, or looks below Venus now. In a couple days, well, what is it, May 2nd, I think it takes over.
Mm-hmm.
So, by 6:30, I was in the car at 6. It was up. And by the time I looked up again at 6:30, of course, it was too bright. So, you have to get up pretty early before that sunrise.
But it will be in the sky in July in the evening, and Saturn will be in around August. So if you don't want to get up that early, I understand. You will not see me up that early most of the time myself. But they will be in our sky in the evening a little earlier, maybe a little later this year.
Just so you know, the other capability of this planetarium is it has amazing movies, astronomical related. Actually, it doesn't have to be, it could be anything. I'll just play a clip for you in case you want to take some video of it. And of course, I don't have my glasses, so I can't see anything. Okay. They're outside. So when when people first kind of come into the dome, I just turn on, just so they can see a little better, I just turn on one of these pieces of artwork, just so that they can see the outside sky. So this is a nice one here. And like I said, I don't have it on here, but there's another one. But Louis Kiner, Dr. Kiner of Physics and Intermediate Honors Program, he has taken that photo of Lansing Circle here on Coast's campus. And so I doctored it up with Photoshop so that we could go ahead and have that as, you know how she was going around and there was a tree? That will actually be Lansing Circle. Okay, so I'll just show you, just because I know you have to go, and thank you for coming. But so I'll just show you a bit of one of the shows that we have. This is a pretty good one. I'll just play about 5 minutes. I know it's before exams, but oh shoot! I didn't bring in the audio. I'll just show you a little bit. I didn't bring in the speaker.
It's pretty without the audio.
Yeah.
This one is. I almost know the narration. I've seen it so many times.
I've watched the moon one so many times. But this one I haven't even seen the whole thing. So I figured we would do this doesn't have sound, right?
It does, but
you're cutting it
I don't
out?
have to use it. Yeah.
Oh, good. So anyway, the problem with a full-length show, a 30-minute show, is that after a while, you have to start stretching. And so this is a beautiful show, but to be in here for 30 minutes, if you have, a group, you have to be able to stretch out. I did a 30-minute show with a bunch of scouts, and of course by the end, they were looking to lie down and have some leg room. So that's one of the challenges we have. We do have a couple of 10-minute shows, and those shows seem to work all right. But every group we've gone to, they want the tour of the night sky. They want to know what they can see right now. So we've actually used the shows very little. This particular show, you know about this. You want to tell them about this particular show?
Yeah, so I like to call this the Grand Tour of the Cosmos because it literally goes from Earth to the universe. So here, the narrator is talking about the history of astronomy. So astronomy is the oldest science in the sense that humans have used the stars as a tool for thousands of years. For a while, it was our clock, our calendar, is how we planted our crops and achieved agriculture. Then we navigated with the stars. So we have this rich history baked in to astronomy. Now, of course, astronomy is a modern science, looks very different today. But here in the first segment of the film, she's delving into that history, and then she'll go into the age of Galileo, where he actually took what is known as the first astronomical telescope. It was some technology that already existed, but he was the first one to take it and actually look at the sky. And he discovered planets, and planets as we understand it more today. In the Greek times, when they were studying the stars, planet actually derives from the word for wandering star or roaming. So they called planets wandering stars. So Galileo took a scope and he could see actual planets. And by seeing in particular the moons of Jupiter, it confirmed an idea that maybe we're not the center of everything as we believe for thousands of years. Now that was a pretty big deal at the time. Doing science of that type, not without peril. He got off lucky because he was only put on house arrest by the Pope. But there were actually classical scientists that lost their lives because they would question the common beliefs of the time. So we're delving into this kind of the migration from a geocentric solar system into a heliocentric with the sun at the center, beginning with mathematician Copernicus, who published his ideas on his deathbed for reasons I just suggested, and then eventually it would be confirmed with a telescope by Galileo. And then we have Kepler. I believe this is Kepler, if memory serves. He documented the positions of the planets in great detail. If you take or have taken astronomy here, you'll learn about Kepler's laws of planetary motion, which help better describe gravity, which we understand as gravity today. So we go through, there's Galileo, there's his telescope right there. So I was a little ahead of the movie, but...
No, that's fine. Quick recap.
Yeah, and then after we go through this history, then we do our cosmic tour, and they'll literally take you from the sun and Mercury on to Venus, and then Earth, and then Mars, out into the Kuiper Belt, and then they venture out into the galaxy where you learn about nebulae and eventually other galaxies. And that's basically the gist of that particular film. It's very relaxing. I don't typically use it for kids if I can help it, because it's very more mature in its kind of approach, but definitely a beautiful, beautiful film. And it's developed by the European Space Organization, kind of like our equivalent of NASA here. It's in Europe. They do a lot of these that are free for the whole world to use, which is really good for a lot of us.
Yeah.
So I play this in my dome sometimes as well.
Oh, there's one. Anything at the end that should press? Oh, look at this.
Look, there's our, I think that's the Pillars of Creation right there.
Oh, they had a Tycho Brahe over here.
Tycho Brahe, yeah, I didn't catch him.
I love him so much. He had an elk as a pet, and it got drunk and fell down a flight of stairs, and that's how it died. He also was in a duel, and part of his nose was chopped off, so he had a golden prosthetic nose. Fun times. That was my 10th grade humanities class. Don't know how I remember that, but
Wow.
there you go.
I didn't even know about that.
I I totally spaced, but you were kind of reminding me how you use these little clips. I have a clip of going through the Orion Nebula, which is only about, I think, 3 to 5 minutes long.
Oh,
So I'll have to give you that to use.
Yep, I don't know what I'm putting on. Like I said, I have not actually watched this whole show.
But yeah, Tycho Brahe essentially did everything that Kepler did, but then Brahe died and then Kepler took it. So he got named for it.
So, let me stop the movie. It's so hard, I can't see a thing. But anyway, so there you go. That's the planetarium that we have. And we have spoken to hundreds of kids already. And we want to get into the senior centers. We had to cancel because of COVID in November, so hopefully we'll get back to that. Are there any questions? Because I know we have ice cream outside.
What?
Yes. I was told it's ice cream. It's ice cream Sunday day. Ooh, that's technology. I'm in a computer science conference, so that works.
Hello, it's the editor again, and in no way can this replace the full life experience of seeing in the dome, as it is 3D and it's really hard to capture on film. However, I hope you guys can still enjoy the video, and thank you so much for watching.